What is MetroWest Boston? Simple breakdown for out-of-state movers. If you don't live in Massachusetts, the way people talk about Boston can be really confusing sometimes. You'll hear things like, are you looking in the city? Are you open to the MetroWest? Do you want to stay inside 128 or go past 495? And if you've never lived here, that might as well be another language. So in this video, I'm going to explain in simple terms what people mean when they say things like MetroWest, how Boston and its suburbs are roughly divided up, and why MetroWest towns like Framingham, Natick, Ashland keep coming up in real estate conversations. By the end, you'll have a much clearer mental map so you're not trying to make a six-figure decision with zero sense of where anything is. I'm Javier. I'm a real estate agent based in the MetroWest, and I focus on Boston and the MetroWest area. A big part of my job is helping people who are replacing their current homes in the area or relocating from out of state. We help you figure out which towns actually make sense for your commute, your lifestyle, and your budget. So let's strip this video down and make this simple for you. First, let's talk about Boston. When most people say Boston, they could mean two different things. The first is Boston, the city, the actual city of Boston. Places like Back Bay, South End, Beacon Hill, the Seaport, Dorchester, East Boston. That's the dense urban core. Think apartments, condos, brownstones, walkability, more nightlife, and higher prices per square foot. The second is Greater Boston, which is a looser way of saying Boston plus the ring of towns around it. That ring includes close-in suburbs like Cambridge, Somerville, Brookline, Newton, and more layers of suburbs as you move out. This is where the language starts to get messy for people who don't live here, because locals will just throw around terms like North Shore, South Shore, and MetroWest like everyone should automatically know what they are. What is MetroWest? MetroWest is not an official government line on a map. It's a regional term people use for the group of towns west of Boston, roughly along the Mass Pike and Route 9, between 128 and Route 495. Different people include different towns, but when someone says MetroWest, they're usually talking about places like Framingham, Natick, Ashland, Marlborough, Sudbury, Wayland, Hopkinton, Holliston, in the similar cluster of towns in that corridor. These are not urban walk-everywhere Boston neighborhoods. They're what most people from other states would call suburbs. Single-family homes, more space, more parking, yards, driveways, a mix of downtown areas, shopping plazas, and quieter residential streets. The next question is, why does the MetroWest matter? Why not just say Boston suburbs? For a few reasons, and the number one is commute and distance. Boston sits on the coast. The MetroWest is west, inland, roughly 20 to 30 miles out depending on the town that you're in. If you're working in Boston or Cambridge, living in the MetroWest usually means you're using the Mass Pike, Route 9, or the commuter rail, lines that run from Boston into the western towns. So when someone says we're open to the MetroWest, they're basically saying we're okay, we're not with not living in the city itself. We're open to a place with a commute in exchange for more space, different price point, in a more suburban lifestyle. Number 2, lifestyle and housing type. In the city, you're heavy on condos and multifamily buildings. In the MetroWest, you're heavy on single-family homes, split-level colonials, capes, and some townhomes and condo mixes. You trade smaller living space and more walkability in the city for bigger living spaces, yards, more parking, and quieter streets in the MetroWest. For a lot of people, especially families, that trade becomes very attractive once they've had kids or once they get tired of paying city prices for limited space. Number 3, it's price and value. The MetroWest is not cheap. These are not low-value towns. But compared to Boston and Boston neighborhoods, what you get for the same budget can be very different. The same budget that might get you a smaller condo closer to the city can often get you a larger single-family home, more bedrooms, a yard, and sometimes a different school setup out in the MetroWest. That is why you'll hear people say, maybe we should stop fighting the city and look into the MetroWest instead. Number 4, how people use the word when they're house hunting. When buyers tell me we're open to Boston or MetroWest, what they're really saying is we want to compare a more urban city lifestyle versus a more suburban family-oriented lifestyle a bit further out. And when people say we're focused on the MetroWest, they're usually in a stage of life where they want more space, they care about daily routines like drop-offs, grocery runs, kids' activities, and they're willing to trade a longer commute for a house and neighborhood that actually works for everyday life. Let me give you an ultra simple mental picture. Imagine Boston as the center of the target, the bullseye in the city itself. Close in the rings around it are inner suburbs like Brookline, Newton, Cambridge, and Somerville. Then a bit further out, you get to that western bend. That's where MetroWest sits. Framingham, Natick, Ashland, and the other neighbors. It's still part of the greater Boston area. People there still commute into Boston for companies, to go into work, to go into games, restaurants, and events. But the day-to-day life feels different, more suburban, more spread out, more house-focused. So if you're watching this from out of state and you keep seeing listing in the MetroWest, but you had no idea what that meant, here's the simplest way to think about it. MetroWest is the western suburbs of Boston, centered along the Mass Pike and Route 9, where a lot of people go when they want a Boston area job and connection, but a suburban home, more space, and different pace of daily life feel. Whether that's right move for you or not, it depends on your commute, your budget, and your lifestyle. If you want to go a level deeper and figure out which MetroWest towns might actually make sense for you, Framingham versus Natick versus Ashland, or anything else, I have other videos where I break down pros and cons, Boston versus the MetroWest, and I'm building more town-specific videos so you can compare options without flying in 5 times prior to making that purchase. And if you're seriously thinking about relocating to the Boston area or moving from any other city into Massachusetts or the MetroWest, and you want help narrowing things down, there's a link with this video where you can tell me about your budget, your timeline, and what your day-to-day is like. No pressure, no spam, just a real starting point. If that sounds helpful, check the link and watch the other videos I've got on Boston versus MetroWest and town-by-town breakdowns. And now at least, when someone says MetroWest, you'll know what they're talking about. And once again, thanks for watching Javier with eXp Realty and Real Estate Group. Have a great day.